The Mouth of Sauron is one of these great villains that we see through the story of the Lord of the Rings, and personally one of my favorites. But did you know that there is a connection between him and 3 of the 9 Nazgul? Yeah, that is right. They have the same heritage. They are all Black Númenóreans, and you might wonder, what are Black Númenóreans exactly? And today I'm going to explain this in this video. Before we go to explain everything, we have to go back into the history of Middle-earth to the Second Age, to the island kingdom of Númenor. This island was given by the Valar to the Edain, the men who went to Beleriand, who helped in the war against Morgoth. And they were gifted this land as a thank you. And not only that, but they got longer life. They lived far longer than any mortal man. They were very tall and they had no illness. But there was one ban, and that was the ban of the Valar. They weren't permitted to go to the Undying Lands. They could never step on the shores of Valinor. During the course of time of Númenor, there started to grow 2 different factions. The first faction, the smaller one, the faithful. These people were all still faithful to the old ways. They were loyal to Eru Ilúvatar, to the Eldar and to the Valar. They still spoke Sindarin and explored the lore through Quenya. But there we have also the larger faction, who are the Kingsmen, and as the word suggests, these are followers of the king. The people became fearful of death. They despised the elves and despised the Valar. They did not know why they could ever go to the shores of Aman. And if you ever want to know why there was a ban of the Valar, then write it down in the comment section, ban of the Valar, and I will make a video if I see that you guys are interested. They hated the Elven tongue and they started to name themselves the Edunaic tongue, the language of the people of Númenor. So the Kingsmen feared death and they wanted to search for new ways. They explored all the coasts of Middle-earth and put mighty havens on the coastlines. One of these great havens is the haven of Umbar, close to the Haradrim. And there the men of Númenor oppressed the people who lived there and became their gods, in a manner of speaking. In one of these havens, like in Umbar, the Kingsmen who followed the king still stayed there when the downfall of Númenor took place. So they weren't joined with Ar-Pharazôn and his fleet to attack the Undying Lands all the way near the end of the Second Age. No, they weren't even on the island kingdom of Númenor when it was pulled down into the sea. They were in the haven of Umbar, and these people, because they are Kingsmen, were called Black Númenóreans. And the Mouth of Sauron's heritage is all the way from these people who were established in Umbar. But we still don't know their connection to Sauron and why they are loyal to him. During the reign of Ar-Pharazôn, the last king of Númenor, Sauron called himself King among men, King of Middle-earth. And Ar-Pharazôn did not like this, so he went with a great fleet to Umbar, to the same haven we talked about previously, to go and attack Sauron. And Sauron, the smart guy as he is, knew that he could never win in battle against such a great army of Númenor. So Sauron took on his fair form again and he let himself be taken. He was brought as a prisoner to the island kingdom of Númenor, and there in Númenor, through his manipulation, he became from prisoner to advisor of the king. He became the chief advisor of Ar-Pharazôn in just a couple of years. This just shows how powerful and manipulative Sauron really is. And he got a lot of things done. He made Ar-Pharazôn destroy the White Three, Nimroth the Fair, who is a descendant from Telperion, one of the 2 threes of Valinor, long before the sun and moon ever existed. And there on that same place, he let them build a temple. But not just any temple, it was a temple to worship Melkor, the original Dark Lord. This is just crazy. You gotta say that they were given this island of Númenor because they helped in the war against Melkor. But now they were worshipping him? 3,000 years later, it's crazy to believe that this did occur and that they just forgot their history. And it just shows how manipulative Sauron really is. And there in the temple, they made sacrifices. Those people that were sacrificed were faithful. So the faithful were hunted down and they needed to go into hiding. And Sauron continued to plant deceit and lies in Ar-Pharazôn's head, and even said that they need to go and attack the Undying Lands, the lands that the Númenóreans were forbidden to go to. And that was just because Sauron told him that they are called the Undying Lands because you don't die on these lands. Ar-Pharazôn and the Númenóreans, fearing death, wanted to be immortal, is just a reason to go to the Undying Lands. With this story, I just want to show that the Kingsmen that are stationed in Umbar were also followers of Ar-Pharazôn and thus also followers from Sauron. They were loyal to Sauron and this loyalty stayed. That is why the mouth of Sauron wanted to go and work for Sauron, why he became an ambassador of Mordor, why he became a lieutenant in the Tower of Barad-dûr. But we still haven't talked about their connection with the Nazgul. It is said that 3 of the 9 Nazgul are indeed Númenóreans, but the Nazgul appeared first in the year 2251 of the Second Age. This is long before Sauron ever set foot on the island kingdom of Númenor. So how could it be that they would follow Sauron and accept his rings? Well, this also goes back to fearing death and being immortal. It was around the year 1800 that the Númenóreans wanted to dominate the people of Middle-earth and wanted to be kings, and they were looking for answers. The fear of death started to go into their heads. They wanted to find a way to be immortal, or at least prolonged their lives. And that is when Sauron arrived. He went to those people who were at the havens of Umbar, and he said that he has found a way to become immortal. I have 3 of these rings that I will give you. And indeed, these lords, sorcerers of great warriors, became immortal. But it came at a cost because their body couldn't be immortal. Their body disappeared and their spirits lived forever in the unseen world. They were slaves to Sauron, who wore the One Ring. And I do believe that one of these 3 Númenóreans is actually the Witch King of Angmar. If you also believe that the Witch King of Angmar is actually a Black Númenórean, then hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any new content of the Table of Durin. It is crazy to think how Sauron manipulated these Númenóreans in giving them what they want to dominate them, to become Sauron's slaves. But how did he actually persuade the elves in creating these rings? For he was already a master of evil. And in this video right here, I will tell you everything that you need to know about the creation of the rings and why Celebrimbor and the elves of Eregion wanted to work with Sauron. So I'll see you in the next video.